Members of the Altcoin Buzz Army, let me know if I am coming in. You should be hearing my voice. You should be hearing the theme music. Let's do a moment or two of testing to make sure everything is working. Happy Monday, by the way. Hope things are well. Not bad in terms of Bitcoin performance for this Monday. Back at a green market overall, and it's very nice to see indeed. Kind of teetering around that 40K level at the moment. Let's see what happens. A good sign, certainly. So guys, let me know in the chat if everything is coming through. Again, call me an amateur, but I'm still getting used to the live streaming thing. It seems to be the case that we're working. Let's kick into things. So first off, happy Monday. Hope your weeks are off to a great start. I want to make sure that we get into more of the discussion part in today's live stream. So i.e. questions and answers. If you have questions, make sure you're submitting them in the chat. Also, we're going to go through some price analysis. We have some new articles up on the website, altcoinbuzz.io. Due to popular demand, we have that new Aave price prediction, price analysis piece that is up currently. And as luck would have it, just as I record, we're on the Binance futures charts here. Bitcoin, again, these are the futures charts, so that may be a little bit different from whatever it may be that you're looking at right now. But Bitcoin does seem to be on the move at least a little bit. Let's take a look first and foremost at, just with a little bit of levity, let's launch into things here. This sums up more or less, we posted this actually earlier today. This very much sums up, in my opinion, what it is, I guess like the zeitgeist right now that's starting to take over in the world and the positivity that people are starting to experience. So the world, as we wrote, is pivoting into Bitcoin and crypto, first slowly and then rapidly. You see the taskmaster here who actually represents the central bank, whipping people into obedience effectively. El Salvador is the lone nation personified that has, I guess, the gumption to stand up against its oppressors. Then you have a lot of the others here. So Mexico, Paraguay, Panama. We've talked about this at length. Just a fun little meme here and nothing too crazy. You can follow us, of course, on Instagram. We post this kind of stuff, as well as on our community pages here, Altcoin Buzz, the main channel. I also asked you guys, in order to get a better sense of your enthusiasm or pessimism. We asked just recently, what's next for Bitcoin? And 69% of you here feel that it's more likely, 69% at least feel that it's more likely we get to $50,000 versus $30,000. Only 31% of you voting for $30,000. What's the reason for that? I don't know. I mean, momentum right now certainly is on our side with all of these positive news stories that we've been seeing. But, at the end of the day, both of those are equally distant, right? It's 10,000 to get to 50K. It's 10,000 to get to 30K. So I suppose it remains to be seen. Once again, guys, if you're joining the live stream, make sure to smash the thumbs up button. We're trying to get our momentum with these kinds of things. I did hit a hiccup earlier. Again, problem with OBS versus YouTube Studio. I'm working on it. Bear with me. But, if you want to join the discussion, you enjoy this kind of stuff that we do, then be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Also, be sure to comment, include your questions here in the live stream. So let's kick off with an examination of some of the stuff that we've published here on the website. Not to get into all of this, but I just kind of want to, address some of these articles that are coming out due to popular demand. We're talking about Polygon, which has surpassed Ethereum in use cases. This article by Daniel on altcoinbuzz.io. Polygon has announced its upcoming hackathon, Hack Money, which would be empowered by ETH Global. Polygon Network, the project formerly known as Matic, of course, continues to record remarkable growth as the project continues to witness rise in integration by numerous decentralized applications. I'll include this in the description after the live stream. You can check it out. As a reminder, I did mention this the other day, but another shout out to Pratik's Matic price prediction based on Fibonacci analysis. You can get a sense of where we think the price of Matic is going to go. When I say Matic, I'm obviously Polygon, Matic interchangeable, right? Again, based on Fibonacci retracement. Same thing goes here for Aave, AAVE price prediction. Aave is an open source and non-custodial liquidity protocol for earning interest on deposits and borrowing assets. You guys know that. I was kind of called out last time in the live stream. I was asked about, like, hey, when are you guys going to do some more Aave content? And I said, well, check the website. Make sure you check altcoinbuzz.io. And here you have a price prediction piece, which you may or may not see turned into a video in the near future. This one is also by Pratik, also based on Fibonacci. And you guys, I don't know, I suppose you may know my point of view. I'm not the biggest chart guy in the world, just because I feel, at least at this time, at this level of maturity that the market finds itself in, news, whether it's positive or negative, is what moves the market, again, to the upside or the downside, depending on whether it's positive or negative. And there's nobody in the world that, I think based on chart analysis could have prevented the black swan events that we saw now 3 weeks ago. Elon Musk, China FUD, IRS FUD, India FUD, all that kind of stuff, Tesla FUD. Unfortunately, that's a function of news cycles. And now we're kind of seeing, I suppose, the reversal of that. We're seeing the same thing that would have been able to be predicted on a chart. We're seeing the positive sentiments return to cryptocurrency by way of all these countries entering the space. We have positive sustainability proposals out of Texas and solar mining ideas there for Bitcoin. Taking a look at the market right now, we are up, excuse my sweating, it is humid here where I am. We're up 2.6%. So, slowing down a little bit. Bitcoin just above $40,000 at the time of this recording. As per CoinGecko, $40,190. And I want to point your attention to the dominance here for Bitcoin. Dominance is actually starting to change and is favoring BTC, you may have noticed, as opposed to the altcoins. Ethereum, for example, is down a little bit, 17.3% dominance. Bitcoin, again, 43.7%. Don't get me wrong. There are definitely some projects that have done very well with this recent pump in these last 24 hours, some of which have done better than Bitcoin. AMP, Polkadot, you can go down the list and see for yourself. Engine Coin as well. We're going to be discussing engine updates toward the end of this video. But taking a look at that dominance figure, 43.7% there. CoinMarketCap, whose data has been a little bit iffy, so there's the disclaimer, but CoinMarketCap lists Bitcoin dominance even higher, 46.8%. They also list Ethereum's dominance as a little bit higher, 18.6%. And you can take a look here at the total market capitalization of altcoins, effectively, so all of cryptocurrency, excluding Bitcoin. And some of these charts are kind of cool to look at. Taking a look here at what may happen. And I suppose there are different schools of thought when it comes to this, and I haven't quite made up my mind just yet. But if we zoom into, let's call it 2021 here, take a look at the breakdown of 2021. You'll remember that, toward the end of last year and just the very beginning of, early January this year, we saw a Bitcoin dominance. It's hard in a sense to wrap your head around it because it feels like that's really was years ago. But this year, in January, just a few months ago, basically 6 months ago, we saw a Bitcoin dominance of nearly 72%. That's when Bitcoin was really leading the charge. Arguably, that was sort of before the breakthrough momentum that we saw in the altcoin space. 72% Bitcoin dominance. It's basically been falling ever since then. Hit a relative low here. This was May 18th, so just before that catastrophic crash. But then, we've a couple of observations, a couple things have happened. Altcoins, we all know, unfortunately crashed harder than Bitcoin subsequent to that May 19th disaster and the lead up to it. And now what we're seeing is actually, I think, as a function of just how much altcoins capitulated, we're seeing kind of this stabilization of Bitcoin's dominance in the low 40% range. We haven't gone back down to the high 30s just yet, so low 40% range. And ultimately, what we're seeing now is a lot of this groundswell energy, this enthusiasm for BTC, for Bitcoin. I know we call ourselves Altcoin Buzz and Altcoin Buzz News, but right now the focus is on Bitcoin, and it's important to consider that focus because BTC right now, at least, is going to be that tide that either raises or sinks all ships. And that's why it's so important for the time being. We covered this earlier in the day, the big news. You could argue that Paul Tudor Jones is kind of like the new Elon Musk in a way, the new and improved Elon Musk. Elon Musk, I feel, no longer has a part in terms of cryptocurrency discussions. He has suggested that Tesla will get back into Bitcoin acceptance in terms of accepting Bitcoin for presumably Tesla payments and stuff like that when mining gets to 50% clean and renewable, or beyond 50%. I was under the impression that we were already above that at 75%, but that's just me. Anyways, Paul Tudor Jones, he's a billionaire, he's a mogul, he's an investment legend. He was on record as saying, yeah, I might dabble in Bitcoin to the tune of 1% of my portfolio, 1% of my investments. He's come out recently on CNBC and has flat out said that it's as high as 5% now. So effectively quintupling his holdings or his allocation. 5% is also what he's allocating to cash, to gold, and to commodities. And he says, right now, I don't know what to do with the other 80%, because he's talking about times of uncertainty right now, times of, you know, in some ways, uncharted waters with the level of inflation right now, with the monetary and the fiscal policy of the Federal Reserve that he doesn't really have a lot of faith in. He has faith in the mathematics of blockchain, of the Bitcoin algorithm. That's what he has faith in. Tudor Jones likes Bitcoin, calls it a great portfolio diversifier to protect his wealth over time. I'd be curious to know what you think about this in conjunction with that other news that we saw, of course, over these last few days out of El Salvador. Other countries kind of following the leader in Nayib Bukele, so Panama, Paraguay, Mexico to a certain extent, Nicaragua to a certain extent, Colombia to a certain extent, Brazil. Rumors, by the way, of Tanzania and of a couple others. We covered the open letter that Russell Okung sent to the president of Nigeria. So who knows? Any remittance-based economy is basically primed to take advantage of Bitcoin, at least in my humble opinion. This is also being covered by Al Jazeera. Bitcoin topping $40,000. Analysts eye 50K, which 69, I think it was, percent of you agree with. So if you want to check out the full interview, you can do so here on CNBC.com. Full interview with billionaire investor Paul Tudor Jones on markets, Bitcoin, and more. He comes out as quite pessimistic against, I don't want to say against the US dollar, but he certainly comes back as quite pessimistic against inflation and the policies of the Federal Reserve. It's not, it's not like the greatest endorsement of what it is they're doing. So let's move on to some other topics here. I mentioned El Salvador, just a little bit of positivity here, a little bit of levity. Last May, Bitcoin remittance transfers of under $1,000 from Salvadorans working abroad and sending money home was $424,000, so just over a year ago. This May, as in last month, it was $1.7 million in Bitcoin. That's awesome to see. And here's something I didn't know about. Apparently 49% of adults in El Salvador simply don't have the necessary documentation to open a bank account. Bitcoin, of course, fixes this. And I'm sure you guys have probably seen a little bit of the mimetic images out there. Apparently, a meteor recently fell into the most active volcano in Indonesia, which I think makes that a meteorite. Mount Merapi, photographed by Gunarto Song. So laser eyes in a volcano. Satoshi Nakamoto has returned. Of course, as you guys know, the proposal that's out there is to do volcano mining to harness the excess energy there. Guys, if you're enjoying the live stream so far, be sure to smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe, of course, to Altcoin Buzz News if you have not already. We're going to take questions in just a moment here. So it's also nice to see that at a time where, in a relative sense, prices are, going up again. People are kind of gravitating out of that extreme fear mindset. People are slowly starting to feel bullish again. It's also great to see if you've been using some of the DEXs out there, if you've been transferring or swapping your ERC20 tokens, if you've been using Ethereum, the prices and the fees are very, very, very low at the moment. So when you're used to paying hundreds of dollars per transactions, these types of fees just feel surreal. Ethereum, yeah, take a look at this, $2.16 for the gas fee. Not too bad at all. I mentioned Engine at the outset there, and I just want to divert you guys to this for a second. So at Engine, NFT are mass of possibilities, but utility is key. And Engine's goal is to create a cross-chain token highway connecting Ethereum, parachains, and other chains. Wojtek Ramdowski discusses how Efinity and JumpNet will accelerate NFT non-fungible token businesses at NF Tokyo 2021. We talked about the other day about, actually you guys were asking whether or not Engine would potentially at some point hit $100 as per a recent figure that we threw out there. And I said, look, I don't want to overpromise and suggest that that's coming anytime in the near future, but NFTs are the future. Engine is doing some incredible stuff when it comes to non-fungible tokens, especially at the crossroads of NFTs and blockchain gaming. And they're starting to get they're starting to build up that reputation that we knew they had, that in a sense that they deserved this entire time. I think great things are on the horizon for Engine. I'm going to bring out in the spirit of Tokyo, right, Japan, I'm going to bring out my tsunami mug again. It's all coming, guys. We see the direction that business, that commerce is moving in. The winds of change are in the air, and it's just a question of putting up your sails accordingly. And on that point of Engine, we did have, actually just in the last hour or so, we had a video that we put out on the main channel, Altcoin Buzz, of course. Robert put this video out regarding how to register on CoinList to get Efinity EFI by Engine. This is happening soon. It's actually happening in just a few days. I believe it's on the 18th of June. So if you're watching this live, that's 4 days from now. So check out Robert's video. This is a tutorial exactly how to participate. Again, how to register on CoinList to get Efinity EFI by Engine. So no giveaway, unfortunately, in this video because actually this is the second video of the day. So we already did a little bit of a video earlier in the day. We gave away $50 worth of ETH. But as a reminder, basically we give away Ethereum every single day. And in order to participate, you have to, number one, subscribe to Altcoin Buzz News. You have to, number two, comment with the word ETH, the letters, I should say, ETH, or the word Ethereum. And finally, number three, you got to like the video. So not happening right, this time, but check back in tomorrow. We're going to have a winner. I think maybe it's possible that I chose the wrong time to do this live stream because it's not exactly popping in the chat. I am going to read a few of the questions that you guys have, but it's a little bit quiet for the time being. That's okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, CoinGecko CRO. First time live. Love the channel. It's actually not our first time live, but it's something that we're starting to do more and more. I'll ask you guys a question. I'll throw it out there. What is the best time, or just from you personal, like your personal experience, when would you most likely be willing to kind of sit down and watch, nothing too long, but 20, 25 minutes live stream? Is it something in the morning? Is it weekends only? Is it later in the evening? I'm kind of curious to use you guys as a focus group and get a sense of what would be most convenient for you. Anybody know what's up with this Bitcoin Taproot? That's the subject of another video. We're going to be discussing that shortly. This is kind of, in a sense, in terms of subject matter, the unsung hero of the enthusiasm that we're seeing right now. A very big deal, but very understated, very underreported, presumably because it's maybe a little bit too technical for some of the retail investors out there. Maybe even some of the media outlets don't want to touch that. It's not overly complicated, but we'll be discussing that in another video. It will be executed in November, exactly. We'll go live. And thank you for the information. Okay, I'm just reading your guys' conversation now. You guys are saying 12 p.m., so 12 noon or 6 p.m. And somebody else said 2:30 to 3, I'm assuming p.m. Do you have any opinion on Elrond? Stay tuned for something on Elrond. We'll be discussing EGLD in the near future. I think we're going to cut it short there, guys. Again, not a massive crowd for this particular live stream, but again, we're going to experiment with timing and everything. I appreciate those of you that have come on, those of you that have asked questions and participated. It's a small chat, but for those of you that have participated, I appreciate that. Be sure to like and subscribe, guys. Check back in tomorrow. As a reminder, we're going to be giving away another $50 worth of ETH. None of this is financial advice, but if you do choose to invest, I wish you all the very best of luck. Stay safe, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army. As always, we hope to see you again soon in our next video and perhaps our next live stream.